We'll finally go to the last the last segment of this discussion. We can ask ourselves, how can an investor predict a bubble in any country? What are the pointers to tell you a bubble is coming? I've seen newspaper, blogs, videos, and commentaries about a bubble happening in Kenya. I've seen adverts about foreclosures. We have auctions, and people are wondering, do we have a bubble in the country? We have pages after pages. But what is happening at the moment, as I have explained before, we have a huge demand for properties in Kenya for people to settle down. If you get 10 people in one group, how many people have their own houses? Maybe 1 out of 10. It tells you that we have a demand for a certain segment, and this is the lower and the middle income segment. But we also have a certain oversupply of housing in the high-end segment. Oversupply. What we are having now is not a bubble, it's called market correction. Basically, these properties in the high-end segment will start going, the prices will start going down to reflect the reality on the ground. After the prices start going down, they'll reach a point where they'll stagnate, and that is the value of the property in the high-end segment. In the low-end segment, things are totally different on the ground, and we have a huge demand. We need to settle our people. So basically the question is, how can I be able to see, or how can I be able to predict a bubble in a country like ours? I have 3 pointers. Number 1 is market prices. There's data everywhere, especially in real estate website. There are companies that offer this analysis. We have Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the National Housing Corporation, the Ministry of Housing. You can be able to get data, and having such information and comparing figures, especially in the last 1 to 3 years, will provide clear picture of how steadily prices have appreciated over time. One clue that the market may be in a bubble is the rate at which prices are moving up. If you see prices moving up far too quickly, there's a chance that prices are inflated and are primed for a pullback. If the growth is stable, like in the various parts of the country, then a bubble will not happen. What I mean is, if you see prices moving too fast in a certain area, this is in the future when most of our population are well settled. If you see prices moving too fast in a certain segment, know that a bubble might come sooner or later. But if you look at the steady growth of real estate in Kenya, especially over the last few years, 1 to 3 years, you can tell that steady growth means that there is no bubble in the country, and we'll stay for a long time before we have a bubble. Number 2, the second pointer to a bubble is the country economic outlook. The price of property compared to the income of resident is also very important. When the prices are higher than what the resident can afford, then it means that the prices are out of reach for the market. Contrary to this, Kenya real estate companies offering properties with as low as 199,000. This is from Username Investment, which is affordable for the low and middle income earners, where demand for housing is yet to be met. We are looking at our country. Our country has been growing. We have at a certain percentage, you have GDP growth. But if you go to the ground, you'll find majority of people are in the low and middle income segment, meaning they need affordable housing. But if you also go to the ground, you'll find organizations and companies that are offering properties for as low as 199,000, which are very affordable. That tells you these companies are meeting a certain need in the market. Companies like Username Investment, the 2 million shortage of affordable housing, which has not been met so far. That's where these companies come in. And the last pointer to a bubble is access to credit facilities. This is exactly what happened in the US. It was so easy to access credit facilities for the majority of the population. It was just walking into a bank, and there you go, you get credit or mortgage to buy a house. It was that easy. It is not easy in Kenya. Registration and mortgage companies that have made lending easy with proper verification opens up opportunity to buy properties with low variable interest rates, only to be devastated by rising interest rates down the road, making repayments extremely difficult for homeowners, thus leading to the bubble. That's what happened in the United States. However, very few investors in Kenya take up mortgage facilities, which can result to a bubble. We talked about 26,000 mortgages out of a population of 47 million Kenyans. Any market where there is a bubble, you will have a big population of people having access to mortgages. You can agree with me that 26,000 mortgages is too little for us to start thinking a bubble. A bubble is mostly driven by access to credit, and we don't have that in the country. That tells you we are very far from the bubble. But that time when you see access to credit facilities, loans, mortgages, not for 2 million Kenyans, for maybe more than 20 million or 30 million Kenyans out of 47, that's when you suspect a bubble is coming. Just to recap very fast, pointers to a real estate bubble. We have market prices, we have the country economic outlook, and finally, easy access to credit. If that happens, you know a bubble is not very far, and that's the time to evaluate the investments that you have. In conclusion, the real estate grew by 4.8% in 2019 as compared to 2018, according to Kenya Bureau of Statistics. And this means the growth is sustainable and the bubble will not be experienced in this sector. And to conclude, I would like to make this point. I said out of 10 people, most likely only 1 out of 10 have their own homes. If you do another sample after many years, and 8 out of 10 people have their own houses, they have easy access to credit, there's a lot of speculation of properties in the market, know that the bubble is very near. We are very far from a bubble, ladies and gentlemen. There's no need for fear in the market. Looking at the points I've given above, real estate is stable at the moment. It will continue growing until we settle majority of our people. And to be specific, until we settle the accumulated 2 million people, these are accumulation shortage of 2 million houses, we don't have a bubble anytime soon. It is not for a market like ours. Continue investing in real estate, it will continue growing, but be very careful to invest only in selected real estate where there is no oversupply of units, oversupply of properties, and you'll make a return. I would like to encourage you today, there is no bubble in Kenya. Thank you for watching this. I believe it has been informative. It has reduced the tension among some people who have invested in real estate, and I believe you'll continue increasing your portfolio. I would like to request you, if you have not subscribed, the button is down there. Please subscribe to this channel. Please share this information with other investors, with other Kenyans here in the diaspora. We really appreciate. We also expect messages from you and questions to us as username investment. You can push question to me as Ruben, and I really appreciate. Share this video. Let us engage. I look forward to talking to you again and engaging to you in another video. Thank you so much. This is Real Estate in Kenya with Ruben Kimani.